moving on, if y'all joined me earlier this week, we painted this sign, which has the Velcro, so you can do the interchangeable ornaments. But I'm actually going to paint the back side of it to be a Christmas wreath. And so I thought that would be fun, a way to kind of dual purpose. And so I'm going to do something different than what I normally do. Normally I would paint the entire thing the color that I want it, the background, and then I would paint over the top of it all the details. No, babe, I'm live. No, but I'm live. Sorry, my husband's asking me if the dogs ate. So what I'm going to do different is on one of my door hanger designs is a candy cane with a bow. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the bow and I'm going to transfer it on here. And I'm trying to decide, I think I'm going to do it at the bottom. But what I want to do is, oh, sorry, I will try to talk louder. Sorry. I get into like quiet mode when I start painting, and so I apologize. Anyway, I'm going to use graphite paper, and I'm going to trace this bow onto my design, onto my board, and then we're going to paint everything around it green, and then we're going to leave the bow to paint it red. All right? But this isn't quite big enough, so while I trace it, I'm actually going to go outside of the lines a little bit. So I just wanted to show you, this is a pretty easy technique. If you have some sort of design you want to add, but you don't want to freehand it, this is a good way to do it. So I'm going to start with my middle, and then I'm going to add my bow sides. And I can see where I'm drawing. I know it's hard for you to see, but all I'm doing is I'm making this slightly larger than what the original bow was. Uh-oh, I went a little bit too far. And then we're gonna, we'll end up painting that. So if y'all have questions, I wanted to jump on and answer before we close the virtual paint party tonight at midnight. This graphic is on the page, but I can also talk through it. We do one new door hanger project a month. We do one new lettering project a month. There is a lettering boot camp inside the virtual paint party vault already. You just, as soon as you join, you can get access to that. And there's also a quick start series. So if you're like, Kara, I've never painted a door hanger before, but I've really been thinking about it, well, that's fine. Jump in, watch the quick start series. It'll tell you everything you need to know, what you need to go buy, what tools you need, all of that. And then you can get started tomorrow. Heck, you could even go get started tonight because it's still early. So y'all let me know if you have questions. So we do the one door hanger project a month, and then my members get access to coupon codes. They never pay full price for anything. And so they get 50% off all digital templates and 20% off all wooden door hangers. So if they order blanks, they get 20% off. Patty, do you buy the wood or cut your own? So there's two options. I teach you how to cut your own. That's all in the Quick Start series that's included in your membership. But if you want to order a blank to be sent to you, whatever design we're doing that month, there's an option for that too. So it's $27 a month if you want the digital membership, which is where I send you a template. Let me show y'all what that looks like. I had this up yesterday. Where I put it. So a template is going to be a PDF that you get on the first of the month, and you would trace it onto your wood using, you would print it off and make this big template, and then you would trace it onto your wood, and you can even use graphite paper to transfer all the design elements on, and then you would paint it along with us. You'd cut it out and paint it. But if you don't want to cut it, that's totally fine. The membership where I mail you a blank every month is $49 a month. And every month on the 5th, we ship out a new set of blanks, and so that you can paint the project along with us that month. So like next month, let me show you what our project is for next month. Super cute. Can y'all see that? It's going to be kind of like a farmhouse bucket with pumpkins in it. And what's awesome is signs like that are reversible. So you could even do like a couple of them with jack-o'-lantern faces on one side, and then you could flip it over and do the other side to where it could be up for the rest of fall. So anyway, that is that's the membership. Now, we do have, this is kind of a big perk. So we do have 3 years worth of past videos, and members that pay monthly get access to all of those videos on month 4, so at the 91-day mark. So after you've been a member for 3 full months, on that beginning of that 4th month, you get access to all of the old stuff. And then you can watch all the old videos, and then you can purchase any of the old digital templates for half off. So you can do all the other old projects for $2.50. But if you join as a yearly member, you get 2 months free, and you get access to the vault immediately. So you don't even have to wait, which is pretty awesome, because then if you jump in and you're like, oh, I want to start painting all the things. Well, you know what? You can jump in and start painting all the things. And you get your 50% off coupon. You get your new template at the beginning of every month. And you get access to the vault of all the past video tutorials so that you can watch and learn all the old techniques that we went over and all the video walkthroughs. So, Pam, you should do it with us. You should join us. The membership closes tonight at midnight, and we are closed until spring of 2021. We only open twice a year. That is so that the rest of the year I can kind of focus on creating new stuff for the members and keeping everybody happy. So y'all let me know if you have more questions. Another really fun thing is next year, April the 24th, we are having our first members retreat. And anyone who is an active member, just wished it was offered at the first of the month. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we only open for, what you can do is you can make your first payment, and then I think I could change the day that your next payment's due. Do you know what I'm saying? But I would have to look at that. But yeah, we only open twice a year, and it's usually this time of the month. We usually do around the 20th of the month. Sorry about that. But what I was going to say is anyone who's a member, whenever the retreat is, you get your ticket for free. So you will get to come and do 2 projects with us. One will be some type of wooden project. I don't know yet if it's going to be a door hanger or if it's just going to be another wooden craft that we'll be painting. And then we're going to do some other different project. I have not nailed that down yet. But that is one of the perks of the membership. I'm trying to keep this paint from going down to the other side. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start doing my red bow so that then I can fill in my green around it. So if you've been following me for a while, you know that I love my, oh, Pam, that's funny. The retreat's going to be in Zanesville, Ohio. It's going to be where I live. That's funny, Pam. Sorry. Yeah, I've had a membership for about 3 years now, but I just, I don't promote it a whole lot because we're only open twice a year. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and paint this. I'm going to grab a smaller brush. Which one do I want? I'm trying to see. We did a fun lettering project last night. It was, Let's see if I can find it and I'll show y'all. It was a lot of fun. So I did one ahead of time, and then we did one together. So we did this, and then whenever I did it with the group last night, I used my palette knife and I added some texture and kind of made it more rustic. Isn't that fun? So inside the membership, there is a 4-part lettering boot camp type workshops series. And what that does is that teaches you how to pick fonts to practice, how to practice, and how to learn to hand letter. You don't have to do that part, but that is just something that sorry about that, found about a year ago that my members were really wanting to learn more about. And so I decided to start offering that workshop so that if you wanted to start practicing that skill, you would kind of know how to start. That's why we do a lettering project each month, is to practice those skills and to remind our members to practice, practice, practice. Because just like with painting, you don't get better unless you practice. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that. All right, so I'm just painting this red right here. I want it to be real thin. I don't want thick coats, so I'm just kind of going around and smoothing it out. There we go. All right. Okay, so someone asked me a while back why I like the gloss red, and it just covers really, really well. That's why I like the gloss red. So I'm gonna go ahead and put one coat on. Terry, isn't it so relaxing? That's probably why my voice goes down and I start talking quieter. It's because I get really relaxed when I'm painting, that's the whole reason we have the membership, is to help women find a creative outlet that gives you that stress reliever. Because life is crazy, and we have contests each month where I actually mail out Happy Mail prizes. And we do 2 a month, one just for being active in the group and being encouraging and friendly. And then the other one is just for doing creative projects in the group. And I reward my members just for remembering to be creative, because it's so important. I find that on weeks where I forget to do things creative, when I'm just all in business-wise, guys, I'm miserable. Like, it's one of those, like, you're just hurried and rushed and frazzled. And so when I take the time to like sit down and be creative, I'm so much more relaxed and happy. And that's what I want for all of my members. And you don't have to have any skill to join us. I will walk you through everything you need to know, and I'll remind you along the way that the only way to get better is to practice. I'm adding a little bit more paint here, just kind of going over it. It's starting to dry, so I'm adding a little bit more. And when you're painting acrylics, if you do not want to mix your colors, like blend your colors, you want to wait until your paint dries. So that was just about dry, so I was putting going over it, kind of a second coat. All right, I'm going to switch to a smaller, actually, let me finish this right here. I'm going to go around here with this paintbrush. I'm going to go ahead and add a second coat and then fill this in. I'm going to fill this in, and then I'll add another coat all the way around the green. Isn't that going to be so cute? It's a Christmas wreath that can't die. Here's the green. We also have a private Facebook group, and it's for paid members only. And so I do extra little things in there. Like this week, we did a pumpkin craft. It was just a bonus project that we did. I just jumped in one day and did it, but it was to get everybody in the mood for decorating for fall. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, don't forget to sprinkle the video. Anyone who sprinkles the video is going to be entered to win a set of these paintbrushes. I will be giving them away the first week in October. Let's see. Friends, when you're painting, this is one of the things that found very helpful. Turning your paintbrush different ways will help you avoid having to switch brushes all the time. So like when I needed to get narrow in this space, I just turned my paintbrush sideways. A lot of times people will ask me what my favorite paint is or my favorite brushes. And really it's all about what you're comfortable with. But in the beginning, you're probably not going to be comfortable with any brushes because it takes time. What brand are the brushes that I like? These, those are the Doris brand, which is the wholesale brand from Michaels. I order them wholesale from, because I have a paint studio, so I have a bunch over there. But really, it's more about your confidence than it is about the brush you use, and that's what we try to help our members gain is confidence, so that they're more likely to pick up their paintbrush because they know after they've done a few signs that they know what they're doing and they can do it and it's fun. All right, it's a little bit wet right along that edge. Okay, let me show y'all where we're at. I'm gonna pick it up and show you. All right, so that's the first coat. And I'm gonna slap another quick coat of green on. And this second coat will be a lot more opaque than the first. I'm almost out of this green paint. Hopefully I have enough to finish this project. All right, so I'm just slapping it on all the way to the edge. Don't want it thick, you want thin coats so that it doesn't get gummy. Okay, that one spot on there doesn't seem to take paint. Were you talking about down by the bow? That's because I had white paint on it, and so it's gonna take a little bit more. What do you do with spots like that? So it's not that spot won't take paint, it's that it started off white, whereas everything else was wood color. So it's gonna take me just a little bit more to cover it. Does that make sense? I know what you're talking about though, and it's not near as noticeable when I'm looking at it this way as when I hold it up and the light hits it. But I've got several spots where the white paint from the front got on my paint table and got onto the back side. So I'm just going to have to kind of fight through and put extra coats on that. I think that's what you're asking. Another thing I could have done is I could have sanded those spots down before I started and then gotten them back down to the wood, but I didn't do that. Hindsight, friends, hindsight. So I'm going to go around this bow This time I don't have to be quite as careful about it because I got all the way up to the edge. Terry, let me know if there was another spot you were talking about. I think you're talking about this spot right here. I'm going to hold it up here in just a second and show you what it looks like with the second coat. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to be putting a lime green. Yes, you don't want to do that. You don't want to glob the paint on if there's a spot like that. So yes, you just have to be patient and do extra coats or sand it down before you start. But I am going to be using a light green, like a lime color. And so some of these spots where there was white from the other side may end up being kind of camouflaged whenever I put that lime green on, since the lime is going to be a lighter color. But yeah, you never want to glob your paint on. It's not a great technique. Let me show y'all what this looks like. And yes, there's still going to be some spots that I'll have to go over, but that second coat gave me really good coverage. Can y'all see that? All right, so I've got really good coverage. I'm going to add another coat of red, but this time I'm actually going to add a drop of white to my red. It's right near the center, right here. Yes, there's several of those spots, but it's just because I had white paint on there. All right, so I've got a little bit of white paint. I'm gonna get a little bit more red, and I'm gonna actually go in and do a coat of a lighter red mixed with this white to cover up my the lines that I made with my graphite paper. So I just want to kind of camouflage those. And I do have my blow dryer on my table. I don't know if I'll use it yet or not. But I am just adding a little bit of white to this coat. Then I'll go back with straight red. Just wanted to kind of cover up that black line that I made with my graphite paper. Because I ended up painting, I ended up painting it a little bit larger. So I didn't want that line to continue to show. But all of that will be disguised by the time we're finished. That's what I love about painting is if you make a mistake, you just let it dry and either sand it down, or while it's still wet, you can actually just wipe it off with a baby wipe, or a Clorox wipe if you can actually find those nowadays. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now, Pam, you're not locked into anything, okay? If you join for a month and you like the other memberships you're in better, that's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings. But I'm glad you joined us. Okay, see how by using that white on there, I was able to cover up the black? Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna grab my favorite brush to do polka dots. If you like using the daubers, these spongy things, that's totally fine. That's not my preferred technique, but whatever is your preferred technique is what I say go with. I'm gonna grab this lime and I'm going to go ahead and put my polka dots on. So let me squirt some of this out here. Okay, so the way I do it, do you teach about? No. So Pam, my membership is more for self-care and being creative and taking time for yourself. So no, I don't actually teach how to do paint parties. There are some memberships like that. They're usually $37, $47, $57 a month, and I try to keep mine under the $30 mark. So that's why I don't teach that. All right, so here is how I do polka dots. And I'm gonna have to let my paint dry a little bit more. But I set my brush down and I pivot around the center. So I leave the center where it is, and then I just pivot right around. I've got a little bit too much paint along that outside edge. But you can see that's how I make my polka dots. And I will go back and I'll touch that up in the middle a little bit. But what I love about doing my polka dots like this is that outer edge gets really crisp and clean. And I don't have all the little bubbles from the dauber. Okay, can y'all see that? And if you like that look where it kind of looks swirled, you can totally leave it like that. I will go back and I'll touch that up a little bit. Another thing is when you're doing polka dots, you always do them in a triangular pattern. So any three that are closest together are gonna form a triangle. So 1, 2, I would do one right here, and those three would form a triangle. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna add one right here. And what that does is that keeps your pattern from getting to the point where at the end you have like a bunch of little polka dots together, and then you have this spot where you're like, ooh, I really need one more, but if I put one there, then it's gonna be too many. You try that, and that's totally fine. Totally fine. Yes, I do use the end of my paintbrush if I'm doing the really small ones. Terry, my philosophy is whatever works for you, because at the end of the day, it's all about taking time to be creative. For me, it's a mental health thing, 100%. I love to make my circles this way. How cute, look, look, look. And if I wanted them to still be a little bit transparent in the middle, then I could just leave them just like that. Now, I will tell you, when I did this side, the polka dots, I didn't go back over them. Those did not need any more. So it's a lot quicker, and especially if like you paint for other people, a lot of times you can knock them out so much faster if you do it this way. All right, so I'm gonna continue. That was one thing I learned. Oh, that's so sweet. Susan is one of our brand new members. Welcome, Susan. Okay, so I'm still sticking with the triangle. So I've got 1, 2, 3. These three form a triangle. These three form a triangle. I can't really get one over here, the whole thing, but what I can do is I can do a partial. And friends, by adding these partial polka dots, it just makes your pattern look like it goes off of your board, almost like you laid a piece of scrapbook paper or fabric down and kind of cut that pattern out. And that's what I tend to like. Not everybody likes that, and that's okay. All right, so 1, 2, my next one's gonna go here. All right, I think I'm gonna do 1, 2, I'm gonna do a little bit right here. I'm gonna do 1, 2 right here. And y'all don't have to do the whole 1, 2, but it just helps me remember to tell you. Quiet, focus, painter 2. Yes, and that's totally fine. I was so glad Susan joined us live last night, and she was very quiet. It was super fun. We had Stephanie came on, which is a new member, and she had her daughter, Taylor, and they were so cute. It's so much fun to just like get to hang out and be crafty with other people. And we do that once a month. Sometimes there's just a couple of us, sometimes there's more. it's super laid back. And what's awesome about the membership is if you miss something, you just wait about 24 hours and it shows up in your members vault and you can just watch it on your own time. So you don't ever have to catch anything live. All right, I'm still doing my 1, 2, and then I'm adding my third polka dot. I'm just counting to myself. Y'all see how quick these polka dots go? This one's almost done, and I actually think I'm gonna leave the insides of those more transparent because I'm kind of liking them. Now, if you missed the video this week where I did this, when you're doing multicolored polka dots on the same sign, you want to lay your polka dots out first. And so I kind of walked through, I think it was on Tuesday, I walked through how to do that so that you make sure that your spacing looks good and that you don't have like 2 orange right next to each other or 2 pink. So I kind of walked you through that process because it's those little bitty details that make your signs look amazing. Amy, you're supposed to be asleep. It's late. I'm going to do a little bit right here. And then I think I'm going to do, let me add a little bit to that. Do a little bit down here. And I think I'm going to do a partial right here. All right, friends. So I do have a little bit of touch-up to do. I'm going to do a partial here. I have a little bit of touch-up with the dark green. Oh, Amy, I love you. Amy Lynn joined us. Congratulations. Okay, so here is our wreath. I'm going to work on my bow. And friends, I think I'm going to like call this one done. The only thing I may go back and do is after my polka dots dry, I might add a little white accent to make them look like bubbles. But I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. All right, so I'm going to grab, let's see, where did that paintbrush go? All right, I'm going to switch back to my angled brush paintbrush. And I'm going to work on my bow. I'm going to go back into the straight red. With the membership, are we allowed to paint and sell your designs? Yes, Pam, you are. You're absolutely allowed to do that. The only thing you're not allowed to do is ever distribute my digital templates in any way. So like you couldn't print them and give them to people, or but you can like cut signs and paint them and sell them. Does that make sense? And if there's if there's details that need to be drawn on, I do allow you to take graphite paper to your parties and let your customers, trace some of those details on. I just don't allow you to give away my templates. But yes, you are absolutely allowed to paint my designs and sell. You can't teach them online, but you can teach them in person, or you can paint them for customers. Let me know if you have any other questions. And you do get 50% off all of your digital templates. And I do have lettering templates too, and my lettering templates are $2.99 a piece. So my members get them for $1.50. And what a lot of times, especially if you're doing a party with a group of people, they'll want to pick their lettering. And so you can buy the lettering templates, print them off, and keep them in a binder, and then they can kind of flip through and grab which one they want, trace it on with their tracing paper, and stick it right back in your binder. So there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. I had an Etsy customer that purchased the witch's cauldron. It was really cute. It has like the bubbles and the witch's feet coming out, and she did a party she has a glow forge, and so she cut, hey Mary, she cut all of her signs, and she was doing a party, and I can't wait. She was going to send me pictures when her party was over. Friends, I'm going to stick the blow dryer. I'm going to turn it on real quick because I want to be able to add details to this bow, but it has to be dry. Using your Cricut. Yeah, that's a great idea, Amy Lynn. Great idea. All right, so I'm gonna turn this on for just a minute. Be patient with me. Always hold your paint plate away. Friends, I learned the hard way. Whenever you grab your blow dryer and you start blow drying, make sure that you hold your paint plate out of the way for two reasons. It'll dry your paint, and your paint plate will go flying across the room upside down, and you'll get paint everywhere. Don't ask me how I know. I wouldn't do that with the template. Yes. Pam, yes, absolutely. I just like to say that because, you know, if I don't say that and then somebody does it, it's my fault that, you know, I didn't let them know. So I appreciate that. Okay, so these areas that needed a little bit more of this dark green, I'm going to go ahead and add that. Just going to add another layer. Now, friends, I might have to come back and add a fourth quick layer of dark green because I did not sand down that white paint, and that's okay. If that happens, I'll just know next time, Kara, sand it down or paint the whole thing white before you start. I really didn't think about it. I was thinking the green would cover it up. But I love how simple this is. Love how simple this design is. I can only see part of your comment, Pam, so if you asked me a question and I did not answer, I will go back and answer when I jump off. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab, I'm just not showing up. I'm never on time. Susie, this was an impromptu last minute live. The only reason I'm live tonight is because our membership closes at midnight, and I got busy today and didn't get to go live at 11, and I thought, well, I'll show up this evening. My son got home from school and we ran to Walmart and went and he and I had a quick Bob Evans date, and then I came back to paint live. So it's not that you're late, it's that I didn't have a scheduled time to come live today. I just jumped on tonight. Alright, so I have a Posca pen in my hands, and if you're new to painting door hangers and you've never used a Posca pen, you're going to want to add a set of Posca pens to your Christmas list. And let me show you the set. You see that? It's in my Amazon affiliate store, and it comes with one of like all the colors. These are the 2.5 is the size. You can buy the singles, but yes, Laura, you caught me. You can buy the singles, and if you can only get a couple, I would highly recommend the black, the white, and maybe the gray. But I really love my set that has all the colors, because every now and then I find that I want to do some like really fine detail, and it's so much easier with the Posca pens. So I get asked a lot, why is the Posca pen better than another pen, another paint marker? It just is. It flows better, it stays juicy, it pretty much writes on just about any surface. Yes, Laura, you can absolutely go back and watch the replay. This is on the back side, just so you know, this is on the back side of our Happy Life wreath. So I just decided to paint it for Christmas. But it's kind of a dual purpose, 2-in-1. But anyway, I did an entire blog post. Well, it was a Creative Tip Thursday. If y'all aren't normally, if y'all don't normally watch me, I usually do a Creative Tip Thursday, and then I paint on Tuesdays. And I did an entire Creative Tip Thursday on paint markers. And I grabbed all the different brands, and I tested them out, and I showed you how they worked, so that you could see the Posca pen versus the others. So that is on my website if you want to go back and watch that blog, because a lot of times when people see the price of the Posca pens, and they're not terrible because they last you a really long time, but they'll be like, oh, I'll stick with my Sharpie. Well, let me just tell you, it's worth the investment if you're going to be painting door hangers for any length of time. If it becomes a hobby, if you decide you want to make them as gifts, it just makes a huge difference. Okay, so I'm just going to keep tracing over this. I'm just going to trace over this. I'm going to make these kind of fat. And then I'll go back and I'll add some accents. Yes, the Posca pens are the bomb diggity. So friends, some of y'all know when you use the paint pens, do you have a spray? I only use a spray sealer. I don't use a brush on sealer, but I also don't normally paint for customers. And what I do is I just kind of have the habit of, before I hang my signs out each year, I wipe them down with my microfiber towels, get all the lint and dirt and stuff off of them, and then I spray them down again. So as long as I do that each season, my door signs tend to last. So I don't use a brush on sealer. Uh-oh, got my hand in the green paint. You're very welcome. So I talked yesterday in my lives about these microfiber towels. You can see mine's really gross. It's just got a lot of paint. I've used them, the same ones, for years. But that is what I wipe my signs down with before I spray them each year. So I'm merciless, how do you say that? Merciless? I don't know. Anyway, I wipe them down hard, get everything off, any debris I can, and then I spray them. That is a great question, Laura. Let me show you if I have it down here. Let me see. I don't know if I have it or not. Oh, yep, it's under here. Come on, I'm going to show you, This is my favorite sealer. Now, they sell it in different finishes. I like the gloss. Gloss makes me happy. But you can get whatever kind you want. This is fast drying, non-yellowing, and UV resistant. It's my favorite. It's the Rust-Oleum. I normally get mine at Walmart because they usually have it in stock. A lot of times if I go to Lowe's or Home Depot, they don't have it in stock. So I normally purchase mine at Walmart in the paint department. All right, here's where we're at. Let me show you. And like I said, there still may be a little bit of touch up, but I'm gonna add some accents now. And I think I can even add them to my polka dots if I want to. I haven't decided though. All right, so I'm gonna just put some accents here just to give my bow a little bit of dimension. This makes it so much easier. And the other thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna draw some accents around these edges. Thank you, Patty, that's very sweet. Now you don't ever want to go across wet paint with your pasta pen. You always want to dry it. No, yeah, I think I'll go ahead and do that. So I went around, I'm going to hold this up and look. Friends, one of the best tips I can give you is if you're too close to your sign, you're not going to be able to see what needs to be done to it. So when I'm looking right here, I can't see the big picture. But when I turn it up, you can probably use a baby wipe. I normally just paint over it, but you can try to wipe it off. Okay, so I'm looking at that and I need to go back and do all of the little humps. I'm seeing that now. And a lot of times, like what I'll do is I'll either hang it up and like I'll look back here, or I'll turn it around and hold it up to y'all so that I can see what it's gonna look like. Now, I do still have some wet paint, so I want to be careful. And friends, I do paint with a trimmer, and so when I'm doing these details, it helps me to set my marker down and turn my wood on my Lazy Susan. So I do that a lot. So that's what I'm doing right now. Because what that does is that keeps my pen stable and I'm just moving my board. Because if I try to move my arm, I shake. Okay, I'm also going to go in these little pieces in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and accent those. Now another thing that you can do, yes, my Spinny Sue. Another thing that you can do is you can do polka dots where these lines or these pieces come together. I'm going to do that. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to do a few polka dots on here too. So, oh, and doing that in center, didn't it? And I'm gonna do these little dots here too. But until you hold it kind of away from you, you can't always tell exactly what it needs, which is why I like to hold it away. All right, I think, let's look at it. Let me hold it up to you and y'all tell me what you think. I think it still needs white accents in the polka dots. So I'm gonna do that. But one of the things that I do when I do accents on polka dots is I always do them on the same side. So I'm gonna do the left top. And I may not be able to do all of them if there's already like, let me show you what I mean. Like right here, I won't do an accent on that because it already has white on it. I'm used to decorating cakes. Yes, you should get it out. I actually picked up for our members retreat in April for next year. I actually picked up a couple extra Spinny Sues for door prizes. I've been collecting door prize stuff for the last few months. When I see it, I'll be out and about, and so anyway, I'm excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. All right, okay friends, aside from touching up some of that green, what do you think? I think you could add a name, you could add Merry Christmas to it. Friends, like the possibilities are endless. But what's fun is we took this sign and we made it reversible. So now we can use it for all the seasons, or we can just use it for Christmas. So I hope that was super fun for y'all tonight. And if you go look for this template on my website, you're actually looking for this one. And if you need the bow as well, you can, the bow came from the candy cane template. So you need to get the candy cane template too. I am going to touch up a couple of these areas where my board was white. If y'all joined me from the beginning, you saw that I had some spots that looked like they didn't take paint, but it's because it had white paint on it. So I'm just kind of touching those up, and I think that's about it. All right, friends.